You know, in the PDP, the BOT is advisory. It does not make definitive statements. But be that as it may, the BOT is regarded as the conscience of the party. So that is the sacred arm of the PDP. And they normally act in spirit and in faith, in the interest of the party, not the individual. I came across that news that they did screen themselves, and they gave reasons to minimize the number, to reduce costs, and to ensure that at the end of the day, nobody will be hurt or be allowed to remain in pens. But there's a proviso, if I read them well, that having done what they did, that it does not preclude any aspirant from contesting. And I think if they use objective criteria, have a template that is acceptable to everybody, and have their criteria selection, get them weighted, do a matrixing and announce results, why not? At the end of the day, only one person. Even in the PDP itself, they are going to screen candidates. So I don't see what is wrong with screening from the base. That will help us quite a lot.
How justified can you be being a judge in your own contest, considering that part of those who took part in that decision are also aspirants to the same position?
Members of BOT, I don't see them contesting. Now, how many of them that have shown interest? I have not seen any of them show interest, except, of course, I think Bode George that has expressed
Professor Adeniro too.
Professor Adeniro, but
and they were also part of the team that conducted the screening.
No. That they were part did not give them voting rights, because all they needed to do is to make their interest known, full disclosure, and if the others did not object and they knew that this was going on and they allowed them and they then started complaining after the effect, I don't think also that that is gentlemanly. I don't think it is right, and I don't think it represents the value of the people who want to lead the party. If they did not know that such a thing was going to go on, and they just had it like you and me, it's quite a different thing. But if they were told and they did not seriously object, including in writing, to say, no, we are not part of this, we don't allow it. I ran for national chairman myself. I was asked to take oath and I said I will not do it. I walked out. I didn't show my back. Jonathan decided whatever I wanted, I left people. But the moment any person emerged, I wanted to remain as a member. And I said, okay, so be it. When it was God's time, God made a proclamation and a definitive statement. It is time for PDP to start to rethink, to change, and do right things right.
You know that the times that the chairman of the caretaker committee has spoken, that's Ahmed Makaraf, he had always maintained that the positions of the presidency and the national chairmanship of the party have been zoned to the north and to the south. And that if anybody is going to microzone, if any zone is going to narrow it down, it must be by consensus, by mutual agreement. In this case, that was not what happened. What do you make of this?
I think we are saying the same thing. Consensus whose consensus? Did he emerge by consensus himself? He did not emerge. It's the consensus of the consensus. If a group agreed, the issue is we must find a way of settling eternal disputes, a way that will serve the greater majority of the people. We cannot carry on like this. I know he meant well. I respect him very much. But he knows also my attitude to some of these things. If the people of the Southwest had come to say, look, we have to reduce our number in order to prepare ourselves. For me, I can tell you, I believe in microzone. I can tell you, he knows, people know me. PDP is built on zoning and rotation. And PDP knew that we had 6 geopolitical zones. Everybody knows that. And they know, including the national chairman of the CPC, that when a chairman emerges, the orders will now be distributed based on geopolitical zones, and no geopolitical zone will take more than 1, which means that even in himself and for us, except we are talking in tongues, and it is not right for us. This is the time for us to come out and say right things right without minding whose ox is God. We must step on toes if we must get PDP right. Otherwise, there's nothing, because every person that is making noise in APC today, well, they were the people who were in PDP. And it was the same problem they created in PDP that they now moved on to APC with. So what has changed? The remnants are still there in PDP, trying to continue the same way. It is not right. If the party in the NEC have decided that it's going to be North-South, I don't mind. But if the South comes, and I know they have, except that they're afraid of coming out and telling the truth. Otherwise, they have told you the ones that will go to Southeast. And I've said, don't do this and don't do that. But people don't want to come out and tell people that this is what is going to happen. During the election, the last election, if you ask Iwanyan the South, we had a meeting, and I told them things were going wrong. We're going to lose. Peter he got up and said, oh, I have joined the APC. I didn't know where APC was. I've never met Reuters. I don't know any of them. I don't talk to them. But it is a place you are bound not to tell the truth, but must say the truth. We have to come out. I want the one who I told him. He's alive. I said, this thing is strong. We must not continue this way. This is not the spirit with which the founding members of PDP came together to do this. Okay. Where are they now, those founding members?
Okay, you talk about equity and fair play
in
all of this. So if you now look at the other aspirants who have been screened out without even them knowing, without being informed according to them, how just and how fair is that?
Remember what I said. We don't need to repeat this question. I said if those people did not know that their complaints would be genuine, but that if they knew and they were expecting to emerge, and after this decision had been taken, they did not emerge, and they started opposing it after the effect that it is wrong. That's what I'm saying. Otherwise, if they were taking any decision, if they were doing anything, they should let the membership know. They should let them know that, look, this is what is going to happen. And before they start, as the conscience of the party, the pride of the party, the face of the party, they will now ask people, is there anybody here who has an objection? They should ask them. And I don't believe that all of them in Board of Trustees, agree to the same persons. I don't also believe.
Is this not the kind of problems that created the crisis in the PDP in the first instance: imposition, impunity, taking decisions without consultation.
This is not imposition. Let me tell you what imposition is. I'm sure that His Excellency Ozichukwu will be watching me, and the President Obasanjo will hear of this. When I was National Vice Chairman, a list came from Imo State, and I knew that that list, there was never any time we sat down to discuss. And a list came. Fortunately, we had what do you call him? We had Chief Audogbe, who was a member, and he was the chairman. So I told them I did not know of this list. It was personally generated and will not allow it here. I took it from the president. I told him, no, we will not accept this. And he reordered that they should go back and make sure the right things were done right. You know, and you know the way he acts. But I stood my ground. I told him, no, it is not going to happen. The same thing happened with Maurice Iwu. Maurice Iwu he was nowhere. Even when I told, when Obasanjo raised up, when his name was mentioned, he said, no. He was brought to me by Ararume and Mrs. Jogu. And I didn't want him. We said, no, this is not what you wanted. The person who was recommended by the governor was not Maurice Iwu. It was Professor Gregory Iwu, who unfortunately just died. Gregory Iwu, who was of the University of Benin. That was the first person that was recommended. But because we felt that he had political interest, so we said, no, this man has political interest. He is in court to future his political interest, and we should not allow him so that there be no conflict of interest. If he that was what happened. So that is where impunity would have been. Impunity is not when you call every member of the Board of Trustees from the Southwest and all of them sat together. What is impunity in it? Is it going to be less impunity when only one person now comes to impose his own will on the others because he has money? Money he did not earn? Money he stole? Can they give account of how they got the money they have? They can't.
So in the light of what has happened, what is the way out? What would you suggest as a way out?
Let the voice of majority rule. I don't know what they think, but I don't think also it will be right. But if they choose for 6-7 people coming from the Southwest to come and contest, if there is anything their errors, all of them can do together. Even if it means by, what do you call it, lot. After all, in the Bible, most of them are Christians. In the Bible, after the betrayal of Judas, Judas betrayed Christ. If Christ had not been betrayed, maybe there should have been no salvation and redemption. But he said, woe betide him. Woe betide him through whom the Son of Man shall be betrayed. He didn't forgive him because of whatever he did. But when they were picking a successor, they said he must be one of us from the beginning of Jesus' ministry. Somebody who knows the roots, who can tell the story.